it's Adam and Sam from Cultaholic Wrestling, back with some more Cultaholic Wrestling news. How's that room, Sam? Does it smell nice?
It smells lovely, mate. Sort of like coffee, sort of like Febreze, I guess. But what about yours?
Yeah, just a lingering smell of horse manure that's been covered up a little bit by those Glade air freshener things, and that's all soaked into the wall. So now it's like overpowered. But you can still. I
thought you'd left the door open for the last hour or so. Has that not helped?
No, surprisingly not. 24 hours of manure will do that to a room. Anyway, headlines. A new WWE writer doesn't know Bobby Lashley's name. A released WWE star says he was lied to by the company. And we got a big update on the return of John Cena. So we're kicking things off with one of the most insane stories that we've reported on in at least 5 minutes. It regards a new WWE writer who doesn't know anything about wrestling, including the WWE Champion's name. The new writer, Kenise Mobley, I hope I pronounced that correctly, appeared on the Asian Not Asian podcast to discuss her new role as a WWE writer. And it seems like she knows nought about, well, anything WWE or wrestling. What did she say, Samuel?
So she said, yes, I've just been hired by WWE. Given the things that you know about me and my entire life and what I'm into, yes, that's surprising. Yes, also a surprise for me. They did not require me to know anything about wrestling, but I do have a background in film production and comedy writing, and they're like, perfect, come on in. So I am on the Monday Night Raw team. There's Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. And the people I know that are on it are Bobby. His name is either Bobby Ashley or Bobby Lashley, and I really should know that. He's like this giant black guy, and he and the people who are part of his crew, I know they call, or at least as of last year, they called themselves the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business. They wear suits, and they're like, we're cool.
Yeah, that was their character, wasn't it? They wore suits, and they were like, we're cool.
I mean, this is sort of.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but obviously, it's a bit of an issue that she doesn't know the WWE Champion's name when she is writing for Raw. It's not like she's on SmackDown, even though she should know that anyway. I mean, it's been a long time thing that WWE have been looking people, specifically who don't have a background in wrestling, to bring something else to the table. And she's obviously, I don't want to sit here and rag on her, because she's obviously got an incredible career background, and I'm sure she's very, very talented. But this really does highlight a particular problem with, if you don't know the character's name, and you that means you don't also know their character. So how do you write for someone if you don't understand their character? And this is the WWE champion we're talking about here.
It's huge. And I mean, we hear stories all the time that the writers are kind of undermined pretty consistently by script rewrites and scripts being torn up last minute and things just being kind of forced out onto TV with very little refinement. But ultimately, yeah, it's hard. It is hard. And from what we do, we know that it's quite hard to find people who are able to even edit videos with a strong knowledge of wrestling product and wrestling history. So I can imagine it must be very hard to find writers with a depth of love of wrestling. But at the same time,
they're looking for people who aren't.
That's it. They're looking for people who aren't. And WWE, if there was any company in the world who would be able to go, hey, do you like wrestling and also write? It would be WWE. They're the biggest wrestling company on earth. But at the same time, as you said, it just seems like WWE do want a more general, just normal writer. I
get it. I do get the idea that they want people from different backgrounds, because then that means they can cater to potentially new audiences by using their talents. But that's a big problem. That's an embarrassing thing to say when you're writing for the show and you don't necessarily know the name of arguably the lead character of that show. If we're looking at it in TV terms, I think that's a pretty damning glimpse into the company. And obviously Monday Night Raw isn't great right now. I'm not putting the blame on Mrs. or Miss Mobley, but there you go. Moving straight on, a released WWE star says he was lied to by the company. Tucker, the former Tucker, speaking to Wrestle Talk about the Heavy Machinery split. Sam, what did he say?
He said, I was never told about the split, really. The first time I found out that it might happen was at TV the day that we did the Talking Smack segment for the WWE draft. I was told it wasn't like a hard split, really, because they were just putting us on different brands and they were kayfabing everybody on what was up. And then a few weeks later, we do the El Gran Gordo thing with Otis in a mask pretending not to be Otis. And then I think the split happened 2 days after that. He went on to say, I wasn't booked the day the split happened. I got a call at 1 o'clock in the afternoon saying, hey, we need you to come to the arena. I wasn't even told until 3:30 or 4 o'clock what was going to go down. And the plans changed a couple of times. And looking back on it, I feel confident that the way that it happened was so that I wouldn't ask a bunch of questions. And so I would kind of be frazzled into doing it, which is exactly what ended up happening. He went on to talk about Otis's Money in the Bank win there, Adam.
Saying, I think that Otis getting the briefcase was a real last-minute decision. I don't know that either. The truth of the matter is, no, I don't really have any set answers. I didn't get any. I feel like I was definitely lied straight to my face on multiple occasions. So he's saying that he was really kept out of the loop on various things. And he's also saying that they lied to him. They lied to him straight to his face. I really feel sorry for Tucker because we didn't get the proper blow-off that we deserved with Otis and Tucker. The argument can certainly be made that shouldn't have happened to begin with, that split.
Yeah.
And you look at where Otis was a little over a year ago now. He was one of the hottest things in the company. The storyline with Mandy Rose was great. Everybody was on board with it. And you look at where he is now, he's just sort of a bit lost in the shuffle. He gets on TV a fair bit, of course. But the crowd investment is nowhere near where it was last year. And it's sad. He's also commented on what he may have done on Raw had he been allowed to be on TV. He said, I do believe there was potentially plans for me to do Raw Underground, and that was the kind of the initial plans for me on the split. And then, kind of in the mix, Raw Underground became not a thing anymore, but the split happened, and then there was nothing for me, and I believe that is a possibility. I don't think it would have done him any favours anyway, would it being on Raw Underground?
No, I mean, it would have might have seen one or two kind of big spots. Like Otis and Tucker obviously worked together as a tag team, but Tucker would occasionally bust out something that was a bit like, whoa! And
that Hell in a Cell match, for example? Elimination Chamber, sorry.
Putting him in the Raw Underground setting might have been interesting to look at, but ultimately we all know how Raw Underground ended, and... Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing what he does next. I think he's a really talented guy. Up next, we got an update on the return of John Cena. It's a happening. He appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon to promote the release of F9 this week. And when WWE came up, he said that he would be returning, but was not sure when. And he said that he's feeling nostalgic for the company, which is why he tweeted out a WWE logo. But obviously he's doing a lot of film stuff at the moment. The belief still is, and the reports that are circulating are saying that the plan is to do him versus Roman, likely at SummerSlam. And that's genuinely, it's going to be awesome.
We'll maybe get 3 or 4 more years of John Cena appearances until he turns into The Rock, basically. And that's it. He'll be full-blown Hollywood by that point. And ultimately... you just got to give it to him, don't you?
Oh, good for him, man. The stuff that he did, he was a true workhorse. He was on the road for so many years and just gave it his all every single night. And we didn't appreciate it at the time, did we?
No.
You don't know what you got until it's gone, as they say. Next up, a popular Japanese star returning to AEW. Who is it, Sam?
So it's Yuka Sakazaki, and Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling announced via Twitter that she will be on US excursion, and she'll be in the US from July to appear with AEW. She's made appearances for AEW dating back to Double or Nothing 2019, when she, Emi Sakura, and Aja Kong lost to Hikaru Shida, Riho, and Ryo Mizunami. She also has the best theme in the entire world.
No, she doesn't.
She does. She also made appearances in February 2020 prior to the pandemic and competed in the AEW Women's World Championship Eliminator Tournament, where she made it to the finals before losing to Mizunami. Yeah,
she's damn talented. She is damn talented. So it'd be good to see her back. The way that it's been sort of announced there, it doesn't look like she'll be sticking around for too long or anything, but I enjoy seeing her on our screen, so we'll see what she does next. Speaking of what someone is going to do next, Ruby Riott has seemingly revealed her new ring name. She's changed her handle and name on Instagram to, drumroll please, thank you, Ruby Soho. So it looks like that'll be her name moving forward. I thought that even though she said she might not, she was probably going to go back to Heidi Lovelace because there's a bit of history behind that name. But she also said that the name Ruby means more to her at this point. So
that and Ruby Soho is the name of a very famous song by Rancid, which is just one of the best songs ever, and it fits her character perfect. Like, it's just yeah.
See, if she called herself Driftwood Turn, I would have got it, but I'm not a big Rancid fan. Anyway, speaking of Rancid once again, I will be doing Hell in a Smell for Sunday afternoon, starting at 1 p.m. BST. Take that look off your face, you disgusting individual.
Excited. I hope you're excited.
I'm buzzing, mate. I'm buzzing. What you got in store? Don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you anything, but I think, after deceiving me the way you have been doing with your bald cap and making...
All right, suck my balls. We're done with the news video. Thank you very much. See you later.
See you later.
Balls suck.